Hello everyone, welcome back to English Unlocked. I'm Peter, and today we're unlocking one of the most common struggles every English learner faces: how to speak fluently every day without a partner. Have you ever felt stuck because you don't have anyone to practice English with? In this lesson, I'll show you how to train your fluency completely on your own, through simple but powerful methods like the inner conversation technique, self-dialogues, and AI practice tools that actually make you sound natural. By the end of this video, you'll have a daily 15-minute blueprint that can transform the way you speak English anytime, anywhere. So if you want more lessons that help you speak confidently and think in English naturally, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to keep our journey growing and bring you more inspiring lessons each week. Are you ready to start speaking English with confidence, completely on your own? Let's dive in. My name is Peter, and I want to tell you a story. I have been learning English for more than 10 years. Yes, 10 long years full of mistakes, small wins, and funny moments. When I started, I always felt shy. I wanted to speak English, but every time I tried, my brain said, "Wait, translate first." So I stopped and thought in my own language, then I tried to say it in English. It was so slow. I forgot words, I lost confidence, and sometimes I just stayed quiet. Maybe you feel the same, right? You want to speak, but no one around you speaks English. You wait for a partner, or a class, or a perfect moment. But let me tell you a secret. You don't need to wait. You can practice English by yourself. Yes, only you and your voice. I learned this after many years. At first, I thought it was impossible. How can I practice speaking if no one listens to me? But later, I found new ways, easy ways, to make my own English world. I started to talk to myself while cooking, walking, or cleaning my room. I said simple things like, "I am making breakfast," or "The sky looks nice today." It felt strange at first, but then it became fun. Little by little, my brain started to think in English. I didn't need to translate anymore. I felt free. That's when I understood speaking English every day is not about having a partner. It's about using your voice every single day. So in today's episode, I will share how you can do the same, step by step, with simple methods that really work. Let's start this journey together, my friend. For a long time, I believed one thing. I thought I could not speak English well because I didn't have a partner. I told myself, if only I had someone to talk with, maybe I could speak better. Every time I watched videos of native speakers, I felt a little sad. They spoke so fast, so natural, and I felt alone with my English. Many learners think the same. We wait for a person, a friend, or a teacher to practice with. But the truth is, that idea is not always right. It is just something our mind makes us believe. Because when we don't have a partner, we feel afraid to start alone. We think, who will listen to me? Who will correct me? But let me tell you, this belief stopped me for many years. I waited and waited, and my English stayed the same. I remember sitting in front of my notebook, saying nothing, just waiting for a miracle. One day I asked myself, what if I stop waiting? What if I try to speak alone? That small question changed everything. Now I know you don't need someone to start speaking. You already have your best partner, your voice. When you talk to yourself, you make your own practice time. You don't need to wait for someone's message or schedule. You can start right now, today, even while you listen to this story. So next time you think, I can't because I'm alone, remember my story. You can learn, you can grow, and you can speak, even if no one is there. Because the real partner you need is already inside you. After I stopped waiting for a partner, something new happened. I started to learn that I could practice English by myself. At first, it sounded strange. I thought, how can I speak English alone? But when I tried, I saw it was possible. And not only possible, it was powerful. When you practice alone, you decide everything. You choose what to say, when to speak, and how fast to go. No one tells you to stop. No one corrects you in a scary way. You can take your time and repeat again and again until you feel comfortable. That is freedom. I remember one night I stood in front of the mirror. I talked to myself in English about my day. At first, I laughed because it felt silly. But after a few minutes, I started to enjoy it. The words came faster, my voice felt stronger, and I didn't need to think in my own language anymore. That was the moment I realized, I don't need another person to make progress. I only need time, practice, and patience. When you speak alone every day, your mouth learns the words. Your brain starts to think in English, little by little. So don't wait for a perfect class or a perfect friend. You can build your own English world anytime. It's just you, your voice, and your dream to speak fluently. And believe me, that is more than enough. But I know, many people still feel lost when they study alone. They try many ways, but nothing really works. I felt that too. I joined English classes with 20 students. Each time, I could only speak for 2 minutes. Then the class was over, and I didn't feel better. Later, I found a speaking partner online. He was kind, but he never corrected me. I made the same mistakes again and again. It was nice to talk, but I didn't grow much. Sometimes I joined group chats, but everyone spoke so fast. I just smiled and listened, and again, I didn't really practice. That's when I started to understand something important. Traditional ways are not always enough. You can go to class, you can talk online, but if you don't speak every day, your mouth stays quiet. And when your mouth stays quiet, your brain also stops learning. Fluency is not about how many classes you take. It's about how often you use your voice. Even small moments help. 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there. But they must happen every day. I realized I needed a new way, something I could do anytime, anywhere. Something simple but strong. That's when I started to build my own plan, one that didn't depend on anyone else. And that small change made a big difference in my English journey. After many months, I started to see small changes. One day, I could understand a short English video without subtitles. Wow, that felt so good. I remember smiling like a kid who just got a new toy. It was not perfect, but it was real progress. I also tried to speak with foreigners online. At first, my hands were shaking and my heart was beating fast. But they were kind. They didn't laugh at my mistakes. Instead, they smiled and said, "You're doing great." That gave me more courage to keep going. Every small win made me stronger. I learned that progress is not always big or fast. Sometimes it's just one new word, one clear sentence, one good feeling. And those little things matter. I started to write my own short diary in English every night. Just 3 or 4 sentences, but I did it every day. Over time, my fear became smaller, and my love for English grew bigger. It felt like I was finally walking on my own English path. And guess what? Those small wins built my big confidence. Step by step, word by word, that's how real learning happens. After some time, I felt something strange. I was learning every day, but I didn't feel better. I watched videos, read books, and listened to English songs, but my English stayed the same. I thought, why am I not improving? That was a hard time. Sometimes I wanted to stop. I felt tired and bored. My friends were learning fast, but I was still slow. I remember one night I looked at my notebook and said, maybe English is not for me. I almost gave up. But then I remembered my small wins from before. I remembered how happy I felt when I understood that first video. So I told myself, it's okay to be slow. Just don't stop. I started to change how I studied. Instead of learning too much, I learned small things every day. One new word, one new phrase. And slowly I felt better again. I realized that feeling stuck is part of learning. We all have that moment. But if we keep going, the wall will break. So I smiled and said, all right, let's go again. And I did. After that hard time, I started to listen to myself more. I asked, what way of learning makes me happy? I realized I liked learning from real life, not only books. So I watched short English videos about travel, cooking, and funny moments. I listened and repeated the sentences again and again. It felt more fun. I also started to speak to myself in English. When I cooked, I said, now I cut the tomato. When I walked outside, I said, the sky is so blue today. It was simple, but it helped a lot. I was not afraid of grammar anymore. I just wanted to make English part of my daily life. Then something beautiful happened. I began to understand people better. My ears got used to the sounds. My mouth moved more easily. It was not perfect, but it was real. And that made me proud. I learned that everyone has their own way. Some people like books, some like music, some like talking. There is no single right way. The right way is the one that makes you smile while learning. That's how I found my path, my small, simple, happy English road. When I found my own way to learn, I started to see one thing very clearly. Listening was the key. Yes, just listening, again and again, every day. At first, I didn't understand much. People spoke too fast and my brain was slow. But I told myself, it's okay. Just listen. Don't worry. So every morning, I played short English podcasts or YouTube videos while I brushed my teeth or made coffee. Sometimes I didn't get every word, but I could feel the meaning. After a few weeks, something changed. I started to catch words I didn't hear before. Phrases like, you know, I think so, that's fine, suddenly made sense. I felt happy, like I was slowly unlocking a new world. One day, I watched a video without subtitles. And guess what? I understood almost everything. I shouted, "Wow, I did it!" That moment gave me so much confidence. So, if you are learning English now, remember this. You don't have to speak perfectly from day one. Just listen a lot. Let English come into your ears, your heart, your life. Because before you can speak well, you must first learn to listen deeply. After I listened a lot, I knew it was time to speak. But oh, I was scared. My voice shook, my words stopped, my mind went blank. I thought people would laugh at my bad English. So, for a long time I stayed quiet. Then one day I told myself, no one is perfect. Even kids make mistakes when they learn. So I decided to start small. I talked to myself in front of the mirror. Simple things like, "How are you today?" or "What do you want to eat?" It felt silly at first, but slowly I got used to hearing my own English voice. Later, I joined small online groups. We were all learners, so nobody judged anyone. Sometimes we laughed when someone said something funny or wrong, but it was friendly, not mean. We helped each other. That made me feel safe and brave. One day, I spoke with a foreign friend. I didn't speak perfectly, but he understood me. He smiled and said, "Your English is good." Oh, that made my day. Since then, I speak whenever I can, at cafes, online, anywhere. Because I learned this truth. You don't need to speak perfect English. You just need to speak from your heart. Mistakes are not the end. They are the way forward. Now, after many years, I can see how far I have come. I still make mistakes, but I don't feel bad anymore. Because I know mistakes are part of learning. Every time I say something wrong, I learn something new. When I think about my journey, I smile. I remember the days when I couldn't say even one full sentence. Now I can talk, listen, read, and write with confidence. It didn't happen fast. It took time, small steps, and a lot of patience. Sometimes people ask me, "How did you do it?" I tell them, "I didn't quit." That's it. No magic, no big secret, just never stop. Even when I felt lost, I kept moving little by little. And now I want to help others do the same. If you are learning English, please don't rush. Enjoy the process. Celebrate small wins. Be proud of every word you say. Because one day, you'll look back and realize you made it. And you'll smile just like I do now. So keep going, keep believing, and remember, learning English is not about being perfect. It's about growing step by step with love and courage. And before we finish, let me share 2 simple tips that changed my English journey. First, listen every day, even just 5 minutes. Your ears learn faster than your brain. Second, speak without fear, even if it's not perfect. Every word you say builds your confidence. If this story helped you, don't forget to subscribe for more lessons and true stories like this. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of English Unlocked.